Hey guys, we're gonna start talking about the Cold War in Asia today, as promised. And in order to understand the Cold War in Asia, all you have to think about is our old friend Stalin. If you remember, we told you if you know one, you know the other. If you know what Stalin did, you would know what all these other guys did. 100% that applies now. What we're looking at is the Chinese version of Stalin. This guy right in the middle of your screen here, Mao Zedong. You can see his name spelled two different ways, Mao Zedong and Mao Te Tung. It's the same. Chinese can be translated two different ways. Um, what we're going to look at is how Mao tries to industrialize China. And the way he's going to do it is very simple. He's going to do exactly what Stalin did. But we'll see. There's going to be a little bit of differences. And so quotes are always a good way to start. So this is something that Mao said. Political power grows out of the barrel of a gun. That is certainly true. He knew that if you wanted somebody to do something, you could only ask them so many times. Eventually, you just put a gun to their head and they do what you want. He was a thug, as we'll see. So we're going to start off by taking a look at this propaganda poster. And this is straight propaganda, people. We've looked at a lot of this year. And so you should be able to pick it apart. And if we were in class, this is what we would do. But take a look at all these smiling faces. Look, even these people in the back. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be living in China. It's so fun. Yay. No, no, it wasn't. This is propaganda. This is what Mao wanted the Chinese people to believe, that everybody was happy living in China. This was Mao telling the Chinese people what he was going to do. So I'll point out a few things. At this time, when Mao takes power in China, China is, it's not exaggerating to say 95% of the people were farmers. And look at what's going on in this picture. You got jet fighters up in the upper left. You got a nice modern bridge with trains. You got, this looks like a trolley car of some sort. Look in the background. Ooh, smoke. What is that? Factories. Ooh. Look over here. More factories, modern cities. You've got the army and the workers and the farmers all united. And in the middle, you see this little red book. We're going to come back to this. This is going to be kind of important. But let's start with your first question. Your first question is, how did Mao copy Lenin? And then I give you a little hint there. What did Lenin promise the people? Remember the song? Peace, land, and bread. Everybody now. Yeah, peace, land, and bread. So Mao's going to take one of those. What Mao's going to promise to the Chinese people to get them to be communist, he's going to promise them land. That's it. Think about this. The Chinese people at this time they're all farmers. And so he's going to take the land from the rich, communism, and give it to the poor, communism. And the poor farmers, what do you think they're going to do? So they're going to say no? No, Mao, we'd rather just stay basically slaves on this rich guy's farm. We don't want land of our own. No, of course. They're going to say, ooh, we love communism. And so that's how Mao gets the Chinese people to follow him. He promises them land just like Lenin did. So your next question is, what were two ways that Mao copies Stalin? Well, it's right here. What Mao is going to do once he gives the people land, well, he's going to do exactly what Stalin did. We'll talk more about it in a second. But the first thing he's going to do, he's going to collect all those farms again. Remember what happened with Lenin and Stalin? Lenin gave the farms and Stalin stole them away. Same thing's going to happen here, but Mao's going to do it both. Mao's going to give the poor people land so they become communist. And then once he has the power, he's going to take the land back. He's going to collect the farms. And then he's going to have his own 5-year plans to fix China, to give them an industrial revolution. So Mao's industrial revolution, they give it a fancy name because that's what they do in China. They give everything fancy names. Um, it's called the Great Leap Forward. What is the Great Leap Forward? It's an industrial revolution. That's all it is. No, don't be confused. It's just an industrial revolution. But look at the Chinese propaganda posters because they're awesome. Here you have the farmer with the phoenix, and then you have the factory worker with the dragon, and they will combine to create Super China. Yeah, whatever. But that's what we're looking at here. Remember what communism is? It's the joining of the factory worker with the peasant, the farmer, and they take over. So that's what the Great Leap Forward is going to be all about. Mao collects all the farms. He makes these big collective farms. Remember that for Stalin, collectivization. It's a little different in China. Instead of calling it collectivization, they call it communes. Yeah, that's the big difference. That's it. It's the same thing. So all the farms that these people were given were stolen back by Mao and the communist government. And here's a nice little propaganda poster. Look at this guy. He looks very happy that his farm was just stolen. And on top of their farms being stolen, the Chinese people whose farms were taken had to go move onto these big government-run farms. And they had to live in army barracks. Women in one barrack, men in another barrack. Their kids were taken from them, and the kids were raised by the government. I mean, we're talking some nasty stuff right here. So this is collectivization. This is the first step of the Great Leap Forward. And then the second part. In the middle of the Great Leap Forward, Mao has this great idea. He says, in order to have an industrial revolution, you know what we need more of? Iron. And he's right. You do need iron for an industrial revolution. So what does he do? He orders the Chinese people to stop farming. Wait for it. Here it comes. To stop farming and build iron furnaces in their backyards. So you see these little things right here popping up like little chimneys? These are iron furnaces. Basically really hot fires that you could make iron in. But here's the problem. These little tiny furnaces, the iron that they could make was crap. Couldn't be used for anything. Not even for scrap. It was garbage. So while millions and millions of Chinese people are in their backyards making iron, what weren't they doing? Yeah, farming. And does China have a lot of people? We've talked about this. Yes, they do. Do people need to eat? Yes, they do. Did they have enough food? No. So the Great Leap Forward is going to be a huge fall backwards. That's kind of how you remember it. Great Leap Forward? No, I'm going to trip and fall because it's not going to work. He collects the farms. He starts having an industrial revolution, but things are going to go wrong. And so he says, if we struggle hard for 3 years, and this is your next question, who will we catch up with? The British and the Americans. That's what he was trying to do. He was trying to do a fast-forward industrial revolution along the lines of Stalin, but he wanted to go even faster. Going fast is not always great. So, look, oh my God, did everybody start to cry? It's a chart. So scary. This is how many tons, millions of tons of grain that China was making. And these are the years on the bottom. Take a look. We're doing good, 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 we're doing good. Great Leap Forward starts. Look at that. Whoa, look at that jump. Great. Great Leap Forward is awesome. Let's look at the year, 1958. Okay? Woo! But it really wasn't going that well, as we'll see in the next chart. Here we go. Bam! There's 1958. Here we are. Look, 1958. That was the other chart. Yeah, the Chinese people, they weren't farming, and so they are going to run out of food, and it's going to be a massive, massive famine. Remember Stalin's famine? Millions and millions and millions of people starving to death? Yeah, here we go, part two. Anything Stalin can do, I can do worse. Mao's going to do it. He's got his Great Leap Forward. He's got his Industrial Revolution. He's got his collectivization. He's going to make the factories better. But in the process, he's going to starve the Chinese people. And this is going to get really, really bad. Yeah, food shortages, famine, death. And the iron that they were making wasn't even any good. Um, that's it. That's all we're going to do for today. On Thursday, I'll post another video. We'll start going to talk about one of the funniest things. Well, I guess I shouldn't say funny unless I'm a psycho. But craziest, yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. The craziest things that we're going to talk about all year. Mao Zedong's Cultural Revolution. If you thought the Purge was bad for Stalin, wait till you find out about the Cultural Revolution. So stay tuned, and I will see you all soon.